Hi, my dear students. Welcome to my YouTube class. There is a class 9 economics subject discussing about the poverty. Hope you are gone through my YouTube channel. Please like it, subscribe it, and share it. If you are satisfied, give your comments. Please do it. Have a look to the poverty. As we had seen that poverty is the one of the backwardness of the economic development in each and every country. That poverty arises. When there is a poverty, the economic development is not so faster. It is slow, because the peoples who are suffered with the poverty situations, certainly they cannot contribute to the economic growth. They cannot contribute to the GDP of the economy. They become idle. So the huge population like India, country like India, is the economic growth will be slowed down, the decreases, because the peoples who are poor, their contribution is zero or the nil, and instead of contributing them to the GDP of the economy, they depends upon the GDP which are grown by the other peoples, means the rich or the above poverty line peoples. The above poverty line contributing to the GDP of the economy, and the poor peoples, they are not contributing, rather than they are depends overburden upon the GDP earned by the above poverty line peoples. So you can see that how that economic growth we are burden, pressure. Let's to have a discussions about the details about that causes of the poverty, why that poverty arises in the economy. If you see that poverty is not a contribution by the single factors. It is the combination of both social and economic factors. Social factors are there, economic factors are there. So both are in association, attributes to the causes of poverty. You can see here the causes of poverty has been classified into two factors: social causes and economic causes. Social causes are the social responsibilities that society has created these problems. The society does not want to reduce that problem, rather than they are not trying to solve those problems. They are facing those problems from year to year, from generation to generations. It is survived in the economy. So there is the social causes, and that economic causes are the causes which are arises due to our faulty economic plans, policies, formulations done by the government, or the inact to solve the economic problems or the economic causes to solve the poor people's problem solutions. So let's come to the detailed discussions about the social causes. Social causes, if you go to our history, the Indian history, the first social causes I had mentioned here, there is the exploitation under British rule. There is the first social causes. That is not the exact social causes. If you say that it is a historical causes of poverty in India, that is a historical causes, because that England the Britishers ruled ruled and ruined the Indian resources over more than 200 years. They left India in the 1947. India got the real independence, but the society has come to the lifeline from the year 1950, when our constitution has been enacted and the democracy has been set up. The government has adopted the economic plans and policies for the growth of India, development of India. एक देश का विकास हम देखना चाहते हैं, वो देश का विकास शुरू हुआ 1950 से। उससे पहले जो 1947 तक 1950 तक हम लोग प्लान करते रहे कि क्या करना है, कैसे करना है, कैसे विकास करना है, कैसे देश को संभालना है। But till the 1947, if you see our history, that India has been ruined by those Britishers, the British administrations. We had got the detailed idea about in your history. Need not to say much more about that causes. That they had established the colonial system, colonial administration. That at present we are following that colony. That is a colonial administrations. They had exploited our resources. That means our resources has been taken to their countries, and in their country they had established the large-scale industries to produce the goods. And again, India is buying those goods, means imported those goods from their country, and we are consuming. So this thing they had done. Our resources they take away with less prices, and in their country they had established the industries. In India, nothing industries had. No industry, not a single industry they had established. They had established only the railway lines and the postal for the communications. So this is the one causes. Then the second cause, if you see, the backwardness of Indian agriculture. That means the Green Revolution was started in India in the 1960s. Except Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh, the rest of the states are not following that Green Revolution, means modern methods of cultivations in the agriculture, modern methods. Still, at present, in the rural India, there are so many states, they are following the traditional pattern of method of cultivations, the traditional pattern or multiple cropping system. Certainly it does not give you the quantity of productions. We need the quantity as well as the quality. सिर्फ क्वालिटी होने से नहीं चलेगा, आपका क्वांटिटी चाहिए, because that day by day we are demanding for the agricultural crops is growing more, so the production should be more. So due to the backwardness of Indian agriculture, that rural economy, rural peoples, poor peoples are poor, becoming day by day, because they are working for some months, they are remaining idle, unemployed. That already we discussed in the second chapter, that is a seasonal unemployment, because Indian agriculture is a seasonal nature of activities, where during monsoon that agriculture is going on, during off season that is finished, no work, nothing, they remain idle, they becomes poor, so could not get the income. So that is the backwardness of Indian agriculture. If there is a modern methods of agricultural system has been adopted, then certainly throughout the year the people are engaged in the doing of agricultural crops. That the rural income has been certainly growing, increases. Then third reason is your income inequalities. That is one of the greatest causes in our society survive. That is a unequal of income distribution, wealth and income distribution in the societies. The people, those who are rich, they are day by day richer. The people, those who are poor, becoming poor. that system has been survived in our economy, in our societies, because there is a income inequalities. We could not find that why this society has been remained like this, because there is no expanding this system traditions to the normal or the modern systems where everybody will be equal, not like this. So we are following the same traditional patterns. That means since the past history, if you see, the peoples, those who were that at the time of ancient times, that the Mughal emperors ruled our countries at the time. Those who were working under that king, emperor, they are earning money. Those are not working; they are just acting as slaves. Again, in the Britishers came, they had established the same patterns. So, government, our India got independence in 1947, 1950. That the real India has planned, they established their system. But still, at present, we find the people's income are inequalities, not equalism. Because there are few peoples having large amount of wealth and resources, but the people's large amount of people have less resources. There is a income inequalities, distribution of income and wealth in the societies. Then population growth. It is obviously a good causes of the social causes, because population growth, people are not aware about their future, that is their societies. They don't think about the future of their children. They are going for the increasing of the population. If the large size of family, that family will have more income, that is the mentalities of the peoples. This should be removed. This should be reduced to the the family should be size should be less, not large size family. That as the number of children will be increases for the parents thinks that we are happy to earn income, more income. No, it is not like that. You should go for the unique family system where you will have two or maximum one or two children. This policy should be adopted and the population growth should be controlled, and people's the income will be increases and they will be sustained for their children for the better education and the health. So population growth, that is the negative. That is the causes, important causes of the poverty. Then unemployment. Obviously, when there is a more population, the peoples are not finding the job. The job created by our three sectors of the economy: primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. Already I said primary sector, there is a backwardness in our Indian agriculture. Means primary sector is backward. Secondary sector, industries are not generating more and more employment opportunities. And tertiary sector, now it is growing. Though it creates some employment opportunities, but it is not sufficient for the demand of our population growth. So that creates the poverty. The poverty is reduced. When people are not getting job, unemployed, they are not getting earning income, so they are surviving the miserable life conditions. And lastly, there is a lack of social security for the peoples. The social securities like unemployment allowance, old age benefit. When the peoples are old age, they should get certain social securities that fix income so that they will survive their life. Unemployed, when they are unemployed, if you do not provide them certain money, then certainly the antisocial activities develop. The peoples become poorer day by day. So likewise, there is a maternity benefit for the women and workers, those who are working in the unorganized sector. If they are at the time of pregnant, they are not getting the job and they are out of the job, they are sitting idle. they should provide certain maternity benefit, education, housing facilities for their children, physical challenged people should be established. So likewise, several social security measures should be adopted, otherwise the society will not be improved, the society cannot be developed. So that creates the poor people, more number of poor people, lack of social security measures. So these are the factors which contributes, these are the causes which contributes to your poverty. Then let's consider economic causes, economic factors. The first important economic procedure, underutilization of natural resources. The India is a rich of the vast natural resources like iron ore, coal mines, bauxite mines. So many resources are there. Water, forest, what not. India is having lot of natural resources, but we are hardly use 20 to 30%. We are not having large scale industries like Raurkela steel plant or the Bhilai steel plant, Durgapur steel plant. Even though we are having large amount of iron ore mines, we are having lot of ports. We are exporting to the Australia, China and other countries, but still we are not using it because we don't have the industries. If industries are established, not established, then how the job will be created? Unemployment problems will be arises. Underutilization of resources means not properly utilized 100%. If 100% resources are utilized, certainly there is a lot of jobs will be created. There is a fully developed India. Vikas hoga. So this underutilization resources is arises because that exploitation of British rules is the main causes to the underutilization of resources. They had exploited, they had rolled over the 200 years, more than 200 years, but nothing has been developed. So from 1947 till date, we are trying to develop. Because there is this ho raha hai. So this will take certain number of years to improve, develop the India. Then use of outdated technologies. We are using outdated technology. Outdated means there is old technologies. Whatever the technology we are having, that is the outdated old technologies. Old technologies means that will use more resources, more time, more energy, more money is required, but less production will be there. Quality production, quantity of production will be less because that is the old technologies. You can compare very small examples. एक छोटा सा example आप ले सकते हो, जैसे एक एंड्रॉइड फोन है और एक नॉर्मल फोन है. एक एंड्रॉइड फोन से आप क्या क्या कर सकते हो, आप सबको मालूम है. इंटरनेट लगाने से आप सारे के सारे चीज आप देख सकते हो, जबकि नॉर्मल फोन पे सिर्फ आप कॉल कर सकते हो या एक मैसेज सिर्फ भेज सकते हो. तो इसमें एंड्रॉइड फोन है, that is the developed use of technologies, but normal phone is there, have no technologies. So we are like those things in the each and every sector. Wherever you will find, you will have that old outdated technology. Our agriculture is not developed because we are not able to adopt the modern methods, because the technology is old. We are not able to adopt the developed technologies, modern technologies. To adopt the modern technologies, we need capital. So that is the third cause. That is the less capital. Shortage of capital is there. Shortage of capital. Why shortage of capital? Because we cannot create the capital formations. From money to money is not able to create. We are having money but idle. The people are saving their money but keeping in their home. Idle, not used. The people are keeping the money in the bank, saves their money in the bank, but not properly invested in the markets. The market economy is not expanding. That is the main reason. When market economy is not expanding, then how that the employment will be created? Employment will not be created. The people will be poor. And the income inequalities will be arises because those who are having richer, they are having the proper use of the money. Their money is to be properly utilized, but the poor money is not properly utilized. So that is the shortage of capitals, less capitals. As I already told you that at present we are having 130 crores populations. If everybody will contribute to the capital of the Indian economic development, then certainly that India will be developed, no doubt it. But only 70% to 64% people are contributing. Rest 30 to 24% are poor people. They are not contributing anything. That's why there is a shortage of capital. We are borrowing the money from the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, or from America or from the Japan for our development of the societies. Even for the modernization of our towns, modernization of our that railway lines, platforms, to run the speed bullet trains, we are dependent upon the foreign countries. Technology as well as the capital. We don't have sufficient capitals. So that is the main reason. Because income is less, people are unemployed, population growth is there is a social causes. So this is a side by side correlated picture. Then fourth factor is inflation. Inflation means there is a rise in price level of commodities. When there is a rise in the increase in the price levels of the commodities, people are unable to buy the minimum requirements. So malnutrition arises, kuposhan. So to avoid the kuposhan, that malnutrition, that price levels of the commodities should be minimum, so that people can afford the money and buy the necessary minimum quantities of the food grains which they had required in their day-to-day life. Otherwise, the situation arises, price rises of the each and every commodities. There is a demand is more, but the supply is less. Means the quantity of production is less, demand is more, because population growth is there. The population growth means the demand will be increases. When demand increases due to backwardness and the outdated old technologies or underutilization of natural resources, we cannot produce more quantities. So less quantity production means that in the market is not expanded, market economy is not expanded, people are not able to get the required quantities at the minimum prices. So prices. At present you might have seen in the market that how onion prices and other vegetables prices are at the highest levels. You can imagine how that the poor people are managing their basic necessities in their day-to-day life. They are suffering a lot. There is a lot of miserable conditions arises in their societies, in their families. Every day they are facing these problems. So there is the inflation. So this inflation will be controlled if the population growth will be reduced, proper utilization of resources will be there, technology is available, capital is created, money is created by, then we can have the better developed societies, countries. Then last is your indebtedness of the peoples. That means poor people borrowing money at a higher rate of interest. So that is called indebtedness. When poor people are borrowing money for their requirement, for their meeting of their day-to-day life requirement at a higher rate of interest and could not return it, they are doing suicide. They lost their life. The people are borrowing money for the cultivations. Landless farmers, small farmers, marginal farmers, they are borrowing money from the rich peoples and they invest in their agriculture. When agriculture crops is not coming good productions, they lost their life. They lost their life. They are going to another suicide. Because that indebtedness, this indebtedness is a borrowing pressure, borrowing at a higher rate of interest which could not return back in the time, and that create a lot of pressure in their families. So these are the various economic causes and social causes. Both the causes are correlate each other, which contributes to the poverty in India. So in India, if we are not united together, then certainly we cannot solve the problems of the poverty. Poverty एक सामाजिक कलंक है, सामाजिक व्याधि। ये एक देश इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ का एक बैकवर्ड है। ये आपको खींचते रहेगा, आपको ऊपर जाने नहीं देगा। आपको ऊपर जाना है, जो विकास करना है, डेवलप होना है, तो फिर ये जो मेंटेलिटी है, जो पोअर कंडीशन है, उसको आप निकाल के उसको फेंकना है, तब जाके आप डेवलप हो सकते हो, विकास हो सकता है। ये हम सबका एक प्रतिज्ञा होना चाहिए दैट एवरीबडी शुड हैव दैट प्रेज फॉर द नेशन, दैट वी शुड बी डेवलप एंड डेवलप टू आवर कंट्रीज, टू डेवलप आवर इकोनॉमी एंड डेवलप आवर सोसाइटीज. So then after we can have the come up from the poverty to the upwardness. This is about the things which I want to tell you. Hope you had understood. Thank you.